my journey actually started before last February, but last February on the 13th, I landed my first client after, a few years of struggling. And what I did before, back in 2010, I started my own businesses. I was that guy in the kiosk or in the malls with kiosks trying to sell you something as you walk by. I actually was pretty successful at that, grew to 9 locations at one point across Texas, Washington, and Florida. I started to do some international consulting for the company I was a franchisee of because they saw how well I performed and, how well my stores did. So they had me as like their cleanup guy. I'd go city to city and I'd either repossess stores from owners that were running them horribly, or I would go help owners get them to, profitability. Got rid of my stores, thought it'd be a good idea to give them to my employees, give them opportunities they'd never have in their life. I was very young at the time and they were even younger. And when they didn't have like the journey that I had building it. So they started getting some money coming in, partied their money away. And like literally a month or 2 months, like my stores started like not being able to pay the leases. The malls are coming at me because, I didn't do things the correct way and like get contracts and switch everything over. I trusted people too much, which really bit me in the ass in the long run. But big learning experience. Got out of retail. That was after being, audited by the IRS, being, sued by the United States Department of Labor for back wages for their employees that were not even employed by me. Just a big horrible taste with retail. From there, I was like, you know what? I made a lot of money. I want to pursue my dream as being a rapper. And actually, in talking to Brianna Puente, I got to shout her out. We did an interview not that long ago. But she's like, that's kind of where your power partner journey started. And I didn't even think about it. So like when I was wanting to be a rapper, my strategy was I'm going to find, hey, what's the common denominator? How can I meet these guys? Because I can't just like pull up and meet these guys. Like I found a celebrity personal trainer that happened to train all the big rappers in Houston. My goal was to reach out to them, start training with them. And then like once I started, training with them, he saw that I was serious coming in. I started like, hey, I need to adjust my schedule and started coming in at different hours until I found the time that they were coming in. So then I started piggybacking like right before or right after their session. So we, bump shoulders type of thing. After about a month, I was like, I can't make anything. Can I come in at, 12 o'clock, which is like the time they were all there. He's like, yeah, that's fine. It's going to be, Slim Thug, Zero, Bun B, stuff like that. Is that cool? And I'm like, it's like, yeah, that's fine. Like just playing it cool. Started working out with them. And then again, like was like, hey man, I can't make anything but this time. Can I come in again? Do you mind? And really just got on their schedule, got really cool with like Slim Thug, got really cool with Bun B, his wife, Queenie, like all these big figures in hip hop. Slim Thug invites me out to the studio, love the atmosphere, decided, yes, this is what I want to do. Really underestimated the amount of time, money that it takes to actually be successful and make money in music. It's fun and living that lifestyle is cool. And I had the money to do it for a while. I kept up with Slim Thug for a while. We're at, clubs, buying bottles, sections, pulling up in nice cars. That lasted for a few months. Then I lost, all my income, got evicted from my condo in Houston. Had to start engineering, which I had to start recording other rappers because that was like the easiest way to make money because everybody wanted to be a rapper. Started, engineering at a professional level, did songs that ended up on Drake's radio station, worked with pretty much every big name in music, Moneybagg Yo, Young Dolph. We did some stuff for Travis Scott. Lots of cool things, but in that lifestyle, there's a few times in my studio, like it actually got shot up. Yep. Somebody got shot in the parking lot, like 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. And that was like my final straw. I'm like, this is not worth my time. It's not worth my life. I need to get out of this. I borrowed $3,500 from my ex-girlfriend's dad to pay off her lease because it was in her name. So I could move back to Kansas because I couldn't have anything in my name since I got evicted. So I had to borrow money from him just to move out. Moved back to Kansas, grandparents' basement, sleeping on a couch, like in an open room. Like my dad's got a bed on the other side because he just came back from prison. And, we're sharing this one big room. And it was just like going from having everything, high-rise luxury condo to sleeping at home, grandparents' basement. Mom giving me $20 every few days for like food and living off gas station food. And at that point, I was just like, every night I would go to like this place called Hertz Donuts. Shout out to anybody if they're in Wichita, Kansas and knows Hertz Donuts.
Shout out to Hertz Donuts.
But for real, like my dad, he actually told me like a week or two ago when I was visiting family in Kansas, he's like, man, I never believed you that you were going to like this donut shop. You always said you're going to this donut shop late at night, and you're like, I never believed you, but like now seeing what you've done, like now I get it. Like you had to get out of this environment to like go learn, and like it was really cool. He's like, I'm really proud of you. He's like, but I'll be honest, I did not believe that you were going to a donut shop every night. But I was reading, I was bootlegging courses until I could afford them. Going through those courses, got my first client February 13th last year. Cried a little bit because it was such a long process. Before that, I had tried literally everything from cold emailing, which I did not know how to do properly. I was walking into businesses because, you know, I had nice suits still. And, you know, I was like, I walk in there, I know how to talk to people. Nope, could not get clients that way. Cold calling did not work. But finally started sending videos through Facebook Messenger. Got my first client. Next day, got a second client. Within 30 days, got another client, and then got invited out to a conference in Tennessee with a bunch of chiropractors where they had me do a impromptu pitch on what you should look for when hiring the right marketing agency. And these are all like 7-8 figure like chiropractors. Most unqualified person to ever be giving that type of speech. Like I didn't even know what the fuck you should look for. Like trying to hire a marketing agency. Sorry for the language, but so we put together this presentation, and I was like to the point like 2 hours before, I'm like shaking, don't know what to put. I'm like, yo, like, what do y'all want me to talk about? I was like, you guys help me. Like, I'll pay you for each person that like signs up. They're like, oh, cool. Yeah. Well, you know, just put this, show you the results. Like, you know, we'll talk it up. Like, you know, we'll help you out. And I was like, all right, cool. So gave that presentation within like 7 to 10 days, closed the 30K first, like in 1 week. And it was like, holy crap. Like, this is way bigger than I ever thought it was going to be. And like, they were joking. They're like, you know, we can do this all day long. Like we got lots of chiropractor friends. Like I was like, okay, cool. I can pay you all day long. And that's kind of like where the power partner relationship just kind of like, you know, spawned in my head, and we just kind of took it and ran with it. So long story short, that's me in a nutshell.